Alright, so here's the Blackstar HT40. It's a 40 watt tube amp. Let's see, they're made in Korea. You can look up all the specs if you really want to know more about the amp. I want to get more into how versatile this amp sounds. I went through about 7 or 8 different amps before I settled on this, and I was happy with the one I had settled on before this. It was the Mesa F30 combo. It fit the tone of the style of music I was doing, but then when I played with the Blackstar, it just offered so much more. You can look at the specs. You've got a lot of options as far as if you want to plug in extension cabs and stuff on the back of this. You've got silent recording, which sounds really good. I did not like the silent recording I had on my Mesa. It sounded really gritty and over distorted through a line in for recording. This sounds really good, really good. But again, look into the specifications if you want more information on that. I want to get more into tone. Right now I'm playing a Gibson ES 339. I've got it on the bridge pickup. The first voicing I have right now, this button is out. It gives you a little bit more of like a Vox tone. It's got that Vox grit to it, and again, it's modeled like the Vox, where you can if you're playing the strings lightly, it comes through clear, and then if you hammer it, you get that breakup like a Vox. Reverb. So yeah, that's halfway up for the reverb. Reverb reminds me of the Holy Grail. It is a digital reverb. That's the only thing that I'm not crazy about on this amp. If anybody has ever played a Fender amp, you know they have great reverb. They have a reverb tank on them. It's analog. And I think this amp would have been absolutely perfect if they did that, if they put a reverb tank on it. But it's not bad. It's not horrible. I can deal with it. I don't use a whole lot of reverb. Alright, so that's the Vox setting almost. Here is, you push that voicing in, and put the reverb halfway up. Now, I would say that clean sounds a little bit more like a Fender. I just took the reverb off. Now I've even put it on my neck pickup, so it gives a little bit more of a thicker tone. So I find it's close to a Fender, clean. You know, some people argue it's not close enough. There are guys that are Fender purists. If you're a Fender purist, you're probably not going to like the clean tone on this. It's not going to be there enough for you. But for me, I'm mostly playing dirty. Rarely play clean, especially on the stuff I have for my last album. There really weren't any clean tones for the main guitar parts. So for me, the amp works great. Next is the distortion. I'll start out with what I think sounds like the British tone, almost like a Vox. I'm gonna put on my bridge pickup now. Right now, I'm gonna put the ISF switch halfway. That's usually where I keep it when I play live. It's a good round sound. Again, sometimes I'll switch it depending on the song if I want to kind of change up the tone. And I'll go through that in a minute. But here's the kind of like a British Vox tone to it. And again, you can play around with the EQ on this thing and make it sound like a Marshall, make it sound like a Vox. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. If you want to get more of that British tone, you put the gain down a little bit. Here's with a little bit of delay. That's what I would do. I don't play around with it too much live. I just kind of get that sweet spot and play. Again, if you're going to do some recording, if you want to explore the amp, play around as much as you want. Don't go with the sheet, what it says on what sound you want on it. When they say, here's where you put all the EQs. Play around with your amp. Play around with the different guitars that you have. Each guitar is going to need different settings. Like I said, I have an ES 339 I'm playing right now. It's got 57 classics in it. I have a Gibson SG Special that's modded with Burstbucker Pro in the bridge and a P94 in the neck. And I need completely different tones actually for each of those pickups. If I was going to kind of get a different tone while recording live, you just kind of set something that works for both. But again, different guitars, especially if you go from humbuckers to single coils. You want to know where you can put your EQ to pretty fast. You want to be futzing around with it while you're on stage in the middle of a show. But again, don't go with what the Blackstar website will say. Like, this is what tone you want for this. Play around, come up with something different, make it your own. That's what I would advise people. Now we're gonna push this voicing in. This is going to give you a little bit more of a modern distortion. It's a little bit more of a modern tune, reverb on it. Again, here's where the thing I love about this amp is there's a lot of little subtle things you can do. The ISF switch. Turn that bad boy all the way to the left. Gives you more of that boxy British tone. It sounds more like a cabinet type of tone, like a thinner, like that Marshall. Now here's all the way to the right. It's gonna give you more of a mesa tone, I find. again, you know, you want to play around with this amp as much as possible, or any amp you have, especially tube. A tube amp is going to react a lot more differently than a solid state guitar will, or a solid state amp, when you're playing around with it, because there's just a lot more going into the tone. And now I'll play with some reverb so you can hear it with the heavy distortion. And again, see a lot of metal players playing these amps. The reason is you can get this fat, thick distortion. It's ballsy. It's in your face. You can tone it back. It's just such a versatile amp. It does way more than metal. I hope I kind of show you that. I mean, you could do anything with this amp. That's what I love about it. It's very versatile. Thank you very much for tuning in. Watch my other videos. Check out my band, Awaking Mercury. I'm going to be doing some more pedal reviews and stuff like this. This won't be my last video. Stay tuned.